The spooky scary happened. Let's go. Wait, yeah, continue. Damn, only in chapter 6. I've like, damn, I got like 6 more. I, I think I got like 6 more, right? I think they're like 11 or 12. Fuck. I really gotta. Damn, my last stream was on my birthday. Damn, it's been like 10 days. That's tough. Anyways, continue. All right. Wow. It's Keiichi. Good morning. Good morning. Wow. Rena was ecstatically waving her hands at me, already brimming with energy. What do you mean, good morning? It's already evening. Just say hello or something. Oh, but this is the first time I've seen you today, so I think good morning is right. It's right! I got it. Okay, then, good morning. It is. Good morning, Rena. I grabbed Rena's head and rubbed it with my hand. She squirmed, reveling in the motion like a cat. Hiya, Kei-chan. Sorry about yesterday. I left without telling you. Oh, no, it's my fault. Sorry for making you wait so long. Are you talking about setting up the festival yesterday? How was it, Keiichi? Did you do your job properly? The slight muscle pain throughout my body and my sluggish movements were already obvious. I did great. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm pretty worn out, though. I grin dryly, and the three of us break out into laughter. What did I walk into, my guy? Higurashi. It's like that super horror one where motherfuckers get murdered, but I'm not at the murder part yet, you know? I'm at the intermediate part, bro. Like, yeah, like I think you know what Higurashi is. I don't need to explain to you what diabolicalness this series gets up to. So yeah, I got to get through all of this to get to the murder. Where's Sadako and Rika? Are we meeting up with them at the festival? Yup. Rika's actually been there since yesterday because she has such an important job. I think Sadako stayed with her, so they're already at the shrine. Cause like, yeah, I remember, like, cause this is the chapter 2. In the first chapter, around this time in the game is when like the spooky stuff started happening. So I wonder when that's gonna happen, like in this chapter, because it's obviously a whole different like instance of the game. Right, I just remembered. Today was Rika's big performance ad, by the way. I don't think Matt knows how to skip ad. He's been practicing especially hard for this day. Uh-huh. As her friend, I needed to make sure I went and cheered her on. Alright. Let's go right away. Yeah! I was planning to stream earlier. I just never got to it. As we got closer to the shrine, we started passing by more people and seeing a lot more parked cars. A lot of parked cars, yeah. It began to get noisier too. I thought I could hear something like a Bond dance song. Without being able to restrain my impatience, I dashed up the entire flight of stone stairs. Keiichi, you're going too fast. Wait for me. Man. Hey, you're such a little kid. Whoa. The shrine grounds. They were packed with people. It was a festival if I ever seen one or saw one. Yeah, around this time was when we got the spooky, bro. Dude, there's like six whole chapters left in this whole game, which is like wild. I'm at like chapter 6. This is like this felt like it was like chapter like I don't know, like 9 in the first part. Wow, they went all out this year too. Amazing, amazing. All right. They're coming from Hinamizawa. Huh? The bedridden old man from the Kimoyoshi branch family is here too. I think that old guy went home from Watanagashi last year and stayed in bed ever since. Yeah, there are a lot of villagers here that I didn't really know. They must have been all been pouring in just for today. I mean, yeah, this is like the one where you gotta show up or you get cursed, bro. Oh, it's Sadako. Hey. Oh, if it isn't everyone. Yes, hello to you all. Yo, Sadako. There's a lot of people today. Don't get lost in the crowd, okay? Who do you think you're talking to? Sadako, too. Seems somehow energetic. Of course, I'm the same way. You know, I gotta act like, you know, nonchalant, though. I gotta act like I'm not super happy about being here or anything. Yeah. I ain't happy about here. I'm not even smiling no more. My avatar not even smiling. I don't want to be here. What the fuck? Huh? Where's Rika? She still has free time, doesn't she? Rika was giving her respects to the mayor and other important people. She shall come before long. I see. Rika is the shrine maiden for today's festival, after all. It's probably a pain for her to say hello to all the elders, yeah. It really is a pain. Hello, everyone. How? Rika-chan. I want to take you home. Stop. I will never like, you know, like that she says that. I will never like that she says that. Rika-chan wore an immaculate shrine maiden outfit, and that looked fresh off the shelves. Not even worn. It was a perfect fit for her somehow mystical appearance. How does it fit? It's not too long, is it? My grandma gave me some safety pins just in case the sleeves were too long. It's alright. It really is comfortable. As she spoke, she began to do some twists and stretches. It's great, it's great, it's cute. How? There was approximately one person here getting a nosebleed from watching Rika-chan move. Yeah, this is like, this is a demon, bro. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted, buddy. Keiichi, don't you think she's cute, don't you? If you don't, then she'll be all mine. And I'll take her home with me. I can't, bro. Yeah, I think she's cute. Totally cool. Enough that I want to pretend to be her big brother or dad. Alright, bro. Maybe Keiichi needs to shut the hell up and take pictures with her. If we take a picture from 2 different angles and make it stereoscopic, we can eat or rather stare at real life Rika at our houses whenever we want. Oh, that sounds great. That sounds fantastic. Fantastic. Say that again. Say that one more time. Rena's eyes and mine glittered with the stars as our noses bled and we drooled. Relax. Rika, you best stay away from those. They're freaks. Yes, or I might get locked away in a basement somewhere. Yeah, okay. You look like you're enjoying it, though, Rika. Maybe you're being harsh. We all laughed together again. Okay, let's not hang out here. Let's go. Let's get to the festival. There's not much time left until Rika's big debut. You're right. Great. Let's go, everyone. Let's go, friends. Yeah. Yo. If it isn't the daughter of Sonozaki, eat up. The yakisoba is packed full of pork. This year we filled it up as much as we could. We even put in fried calamari. Oh yeah. Gotcha, old timer. The yakisoba this year looks like quite the achievement. You made squid too. You put a ton of time into this, didn't you? Wow, it's tasty, it's tasty. Yeah, the squid is delicious, but the aroma is just... Say that again. Say that one more time. Fantastic. It wonderfully compensates for how soft and tends to be. Yo, what's good, Shay? We gotta play Dio? Yeah, Dio soon, or whatever. We gotta play that soon. There's a delightful amount of squid and pork in it too. Yep, not bad at all, I say. Haha. Kay, you sound like you could walk into a cooking program and become the host. Become the host and then become like, you know, wait, which cooking host lady said like just the hard R that one time? Just wrap up the career. Yeah, when I see Keiichi acting like it's so good, it somehow tastes even better. I don't discriminate among delicious foods. So anything that I say is tasty has got to be worth trying out, right? What is this guy's palate that's supposed to be that fucking, you know, like that good? Like, hello? Then Keiichi, please give us your opinion on the yakisoba again. I'll do it in 2 words. Absolutely scrumptious. Yeah, yeah. Oh. If I had a second stomach, I'd buy another one right now. Having heard my 3-star rating, 3-star, a whole line of people suddenly formed in front of the yakisoba stand. Damn, I got motion like that? Keiichi got motion like that? Hello? When did he have motion like this? Never. No way he got motion like this, bro. It doesn't make any sense. Wow, that's amazing. Kay said it was so good that a little crowd started to form. Not bad. It was nothing to brag about, but I still decide to stick out my chest and put on airs. I'm so fucking cool. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, is that so? Then perhaps I should try it out. Mister, can I perchance bother you for one takoyaki? Sadako bought a stick of takoyaki balls of fried octopus from the adjacent stand, and after blowing on it, put one of them into her mouth. How is it, Sadako? If you give it a good rating, then Rena will buy it too. Chomp, chomp, chew, chew, gulp. Now it's time for the Hinamizawa Michelin judge Sadako Hojo to give her impressions. Though she was all for it a moment ago, Sadako hesitated to give her thoughts. This shit is ass. Hey now, what's the matter? Everyone else takes one of their own and puts it into their mouths. Oh. No lie, you don't watch out with teriyaki shit. Shit is like lava in your mouth. Huh? Rena got gipped. Mine's bad too. There's no octopus in it. Oh, you're gonna have so they're lying. And so they're lying, buddy. They're supposed to be like, this one's supposed to be fried octopus balls, and they're not octopus. They're just fried balls. Fried dough balls. How the fuck you gonna call it takoyaki without octopus? Exactly. Is this the game that just that long, or is this something different? Okay, basically, the game is 8 different full games called chapters, and then they have like 11 or 12 chapters in each game. So every game, since I'm on chapter 2 is like 40 hours or some shit, bro. Some ridiculous stuff like that. The first one is basically roughly around the same. The third one's like that, you know, and so forth. Basically, yeah, like, these games are ridiculous, bro. I don't know how you can pack this much content into a random-ass fucking visual novel, buddy. I don't know how you can do this, but I fucking did it. I fucking did it, man. Because, there's 8 chapters. So that means that's like 40 hours times 8. And I'm on 2. This is only the second visual novel, buddy. Yeah. And then there's like another series that the creators of this do that's called Umineko. You probably heard of that one. I don't know, maybe not, but it's like another series. Just quit your job and play this full time. Not gonna lie, bro. I mean, I'd love the game more, but I just need this stream. That's all you're going to do, have time to do. Deadass. Like, I'm on chapter 2. I'm on chapter 2, and then like I'm on chapter 6 in chapter 2. So it's like I don't even think I'm not even half. I'm basically halfway done with chapter 2. This takoyaki vendor. Could this be some sort of summer festival only octopus free takoyaki stand? Yeah, but no, I don't know how the creator of these can physically like, or can actually like make this. Because if I remember correctly, the first game for this, like as in like the first like actual game for this, because it's like a remake of the original game. Because like the original game got like, because like I found out recently, like they got the original sprites, yeah, character sprites, original sprites. This is what the original game used to look like. So like, so old as fuck. So they, like, I think that was like, it was like I don't know how many people worked on it, but now it's like obviously a bigger team. But it's just like, my goodness, bro. Like this shit was so popular. It got a remake on, like, got that shit put on like the PlayStation. This shit's on the Switch. Ridiculous. An evil takoyaki stand that skimped out on the octopus because they figured it would make them good money today. Ah, mine has some. Yeah, it's pretty good considering there's octopus in it. Yeah, you lucky son of a bitch. How am I supposed to explain that this is octopus free takoyaki is any good? Everyone wondered about that. There are some really dedicated people out there. Exactly. And if I remember correctly, like this same studio that makes this, like I said, makes another series called Umineko, and then they also make another series because like they have like a trilogy of games in the When They Cry series. So there's obviously the Higurashi, the Umineko. I forgot the third one, and then they also have other games. So it's just like, brother, relax. I don't know how they can do this. I don't know. Everyone wondered about that. Our quizzical looks seem to be drawing equal dubious stares from the people in line. How about this? Takoyaki without any octopus is really healthy, but no, it's not. It's still just fried dough. And even people who don't like octopus can eat this delicious takoyaki. After hearing that, several surprised guests left the line. As you should. It had the exact opposite effect. It's not healthy. Yeah, literally, it's just fried dough. If there's no octopus in it, it's just fried dough. What the kind of BS are they pushing? I don't know. Whoever's food stand that was in this game, they need to be fucking. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Take them out, bro. How about the people killing people in this village? Kill that person for doing that stupid shit. They need to go. They need to go. Get that man out of here, bro. All right, then I'll give it a try next. A self-inspired take on takoyaki in which you can clearly taste the simple flavors of the flour, green onions, and pickled ginger. Again, it's just fried that in a ball. The unaffected taste is bolstered by the absence of octopus. It wasn't half bad, but after hearing the "there's no octopus in it" clause, even more people left the line. Honestly, let's just move right on. Rika, any good comments? Yeah, you can be honest. 400 yen is too much for this. It was too honest. Even more customers leave the line, dealing a fatal blow or lethal blow. There were other takoyaki stands around after all. Well, I mean, we might not want to be doing this. Hey, Sadako. No, the highway robbery for octopus list takoyaki. Exactly. I haven't even had takoyaki, bro, and this shit pissed me off. It's like, how are you gonna skip on the main fucking ingredient, brother? Like, come on. How are you gonna skip on the main ingredient of the thing, bro? Hey, Sadako, you started all this, so give us a great big turnaround. People be waiting in lines forever for that shit too. In Osaka, yeah. It's I cannot do it. How do you expect me to lavish praise upon takoyaki without any octopus in it? God, you idiot! Sadako's angry outburst was the finishing blow. Honestly, go ahead and wrap up the stand and get the fuck out of here, buddy. Get the fuck out of here. Ridiculous. The customers are all gone. Huh? The guy is staring at us. Well, less money for you. I mean, you deserve it. You deserve it for skimping out and just literally robbing people. Why is that? Why is that, ho? There's no saving this crowd. Perhaps I, Keiichi Maebara, will lend a generous hand. My guy, you already dunked on it. Keiichi, you can do it. We want you to save the takoyaki vendor who didn't put any octopus in. Don't smile as you say something so bitter. All right, fine. This may be the only chance you'll get to see a pro at work, so watch carefully. I shoved a stick into an octopus-less takoyaki and crammed it into my mouth. As before, there wasn't any octopus in it. But Mion's had some in it. That was the important part. The man who runs this takoyaki stand, he truly loves takoyaki. In every meaning of the word. Yeah. No. It could even be said that he adores it. Huh? Everyone gasped in surprise, including the takoyaki vendor glaring at us. This man truly does love takoyaki, and because he loves it, he doesn't want to create half-hearted random ones. Isn't that right? The takoyaki vendor looked down, unsure. Those watching were listening intently, wanting to know why octopus-less takoyaki deserved such a high rating. Keiichi, if you really and truly love takoyaki that much, why did he make takoyaki without any octopus in it at all? Is he not betraying that very takoyaki? You may be right. In one sense, it is betrayal. However, it's the best possible compromise that this man could find. This man is making real takoyaki today, as he always does. However, only one or two of them on each stick are the real ones. Well, you're right. The one I ate had octopus in it. And considering it did actually have it, it didn't taste bad at all, you know? Again, what the hell? Like, what are you selling, buddy? You're selling nothing. Right. That was a bona fide takoyaki. And as for the other one, that skipped a lot of text. Holy shit. I didn't even do anything. It was the biggest compromise he could make against the biases of the general populace. We all think that there need to be 8 pieces on a stick, or else it's not real takoyaki. Huh, Keiichi? I don't understand what you mean. Why is one of them the real thing and all the other ones are fakes? Why? The secret lies in the octopus. Mister, this octopus. It's true Akashi octopus, isn't it? In recent years, the number of octopuses caught in Akashi has decreased, and their prices have risen drastically. Yeah, we're really flipping this to be like, gotcha, get the rare one, buddy. Get the real one. We're really flipping it. We're really fucking flipping it, bro. The prices are now so high that you wouldn't think of using them in takoyaki. Then the man who had been looking down this whole time mumbled, "Yeah, that's right. Akashi octopus. It's very expensive." But this man absolutely had to have the Akashi octopus. He could have bought much worse quality octopus for cheaper, as much as he wanted, and he would have still been able to fool everyone. There are plenty of other scamming takoyaki vendors who claim theirs are from Akashi, even though they're not. But this man wouldn't accept it. No, he wouldn't tell lies. Akashi Octopus are supreme. He would never relinquish this one stubborn conviction. This man loved takoyaki. That's why he never lied. Yet, there was one point that he absolutely had to compromise on. What might that be? The number. The popular opinion is that a stick of takoyaki should have 8 pieces on it. Even if it's real, Akashi Octopus, he couldn't charge 400 yen for just 1 piece, could he? No. If he didn't have 8 pieces, nobody would buy him. This man wept over it, cried for it, shed tears for it. He wouldn't even let himself lie on through the others. But I can't, bro. This is so dumb. This is so fucking stupid. Also, add in a minute. Whoa! The octopus fruit takoyaki vendor burst into tears. I gently clap one of his shoulders. Buddy, no matter what anyone else says, I will never forget how genuine you are. Okay. You, sir, are a true vendor of takoyaki. 30 seconds. You are the only one in the world with the right to call himself that. My word. As I embrace the shoulders of this man, shedding his manly tears, those watching delivered a round of applause, moved by my speech. Everyone, I beg of you, please eat some of this true takoyaki vendor's takoyaki. If we don't treasure genuine men like this, then how can we protect the true path of takoyaki? If nobody will eat them all, will eat them, then I will eat them all. There we go. Why are we still here, bro? We should have left. We should have just straight left a while ago. Everyone watching is in lining up. Whoa. Keiichi, you did it. You did it. Again, when in the absolute fuck did Keiichi have this motion, bro? I said it before. I'm saying it again. When did he have this motion ever, bro? I think it's more they thought Kei's propaganda speech was interesting rather than that the takoyaki actually looked good. Yeah, I propaganded the fuck out of that, buddy. I said some absolutely false shit. Oh man, Kei, you could probably sell plain old rocks if you tried. You would go over well at the entrance of Akihabara Station, bro. I had to say it was. Rika, I have never heard of this Akihabara. Where is it? Absolutely stunned by my successful pitch, the guy manning the stall next to this one called out to me. Brother. Hey, you guys. Do that for my sweets too. Great. You all get the gist of it, right? It's your turn this time, Rena. Okay, I'll do my best. How? When apricot sweets are cold, they're very, very, very good. The apricot is sitting so quietly and nicely on top of the syrup. How it's so cute. I want to take it home. It looks like she lost herself in this midway through. But a girl giving it such natural praise was itself bringing in some customers. A line was quickly forming behind Arena. Next up is the Okonomiyaki stand. Sadako, you're up. Well, the crunch of the fried tempura batter mixed with the yakisoba is simply to die for. Yeah. With the huge piece of bacon laid on top. When you bite into it, it all comes flooding out. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Yeah, that's freaking great. Now I want to try some too. Then a huge line formed at my words. What on earth is this? So basically all these onlookers are just following us around to all these stands. Yeah, pretty much. I don't see a problem. Free advertising, just a bunch of kids just coming around doing some stupid shit, bro. When people hear about food from others and then try it for themselves, it tastes a lot better than it normally would. So that's it. Yeah, it's like a fucking, it's like a crowd, mob mentality type of thing, bro. You just join in. You just join in type of thing. Even Rika was gorging herself on the food, getting sauce on the bib she'd put on to prevent her shrine maiden outfit from getting dirty. Nice. The older guys are getting into it too. Okay. Which one should I do? Right, Mion. You go to the next stand, the stand next to that. Show them the depths of your power. But Keiichi, the stall next to that one is, whoops, a goldfish scooping stand. Well, she about to do it, you know. We already know that Mion is cracked like that, so a bit out of our element. Nah, as club president, I won't flee no matter who or what my opponent is. Let's get started. Please don't tell me I have to fucking read all this shit, bro. I look forward to a splendid performance, Mion. The onlookers were also watching Mion with helpful eyes. Welcome. Here's your net and bowl. Okay, here we go. The goldfish are energetic today. They really look delicious. Small things like these, you could crunch them down whole. Okay, mutter. People is yapping. Mion, what in the world are you saying? Mion, you eat them? Did you eat the one that Rena caught last year too? No, I didn't say anything like that. Mion's face went red and she shook it vehemently in denial. Well, I mean, you just said so yourself that that they look really delicious. What in tarnation is going on here, buddy? What is going on? Yes, you did indeed say so. My sister is an omnivorous. She eats anything that can go in her mouth. Pause. If they taste good, then maybe I'll try one next time. No! Rika, you don't do that. You'll get sick. Can you not eat goldfish? Goldfish. Yeah, can you not eat those? I gotta look that up. Can you not eat goldfish? Not like the fucking snack, okay? Can you eat a goldfish? Although edible, it is not recommended to eat a pet goldfish due to health risks, poor taste, and ethical concerns. Yeah, okay. Goldfish are a domesticated species of carp, which are sometimes eaten. However, the carp family is not known for its delicious flavor. Oh, I see. Okay. I see. I actually have no idea. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. I mean, yeah, it says that you can, but it's like, hey, bro, this shit's ass. Like, you can, but like, we're just gonna be straightforward. We taste like garbage type of thing. We taste like trash. Wait a second. Hey, what the hell? Shion, how long have you been there? Yep, we got Mion's sister. Hi, okay. Mion, everybody. Good evening. Where did you come from, Shion? I've been here since the bit with the yakisoba. You were all so loud that I found that you right away. Jeez. You've got nothing to do with this, do you? Ew, get this fucking bot clanker scum out of my goddamn chat. Anyway, go somewhere else already. Get the fuck out of here. Jeez, Mion, don't treat me so cruelly, right, Kate? Yeah, you gotta bring me into it. You're okay with me being here, right? She asked, grabbing my arm and pushing her chest into it. All right, brother. Bounce. Gulp. Keiichi, you're a pervert. Your nose is bleeding. When you squish a jelly donut, the jelly comes out right. All right, pal. All right, pal. It's the same. This isn't something I have any control over. Heh, is that right? Then will more come out if I squeeze harder? Wow, yeah, deadass. Squeeze. Shion, her cleavage, it's right up against my chest. Drip. Yeah! Shion, what the heck are you trying to do? How vulgar. I seem to have misjudged you. What about my flat chest? No. Rika-chan clasp her onto my own arm too. Rub. Brother. A plentiful, plump feeling on my left shoulder, and the sour sensation of a young, unripe fruit on my right. What the fuck? No. No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, bro. Yeah, please rock this nigga into the fucking next stratosphere, please. The next stratosphere, the next, like, solar system. There we go. Say it. I'm not saying it. Boom, boom. Bang! Shion, Rika, and I, our faces now bruised, fell to the ground. Limbs sprawling. Nice job, Rena. Yeah. Everyone's so dirty. Rena punched me. It really hurts. Rika, you get what you deserve. Sheesh. Now that Shion was here, the energy around us has increased by 120%. This fucking sick. Your friends are so much fun, Mion. I never get bored of them. All right. Right. If you weren't here, it would be way more fun, you know. Get out of here, fucker. I want to stay with you all, but if I continue seducing Keiichi, my sister looks like she's literally going to bite my head off. So I'll retreat for now. The only the main problem I have about this is that she's the younger sister. The one doing all the booby things is the younger sister. Okay. I'll be back. See you, Mion. Don't be back. Get the salt. Someone get the salt. After teasing her older sister so much, Shion ran away. See, older sister is Mion. Shion ran away into the crowd of people and disappeared. Okay. I feel that I have borne witness to a rare side of Mion. When Mion is with Shion, she looks kinda cute. Rena smiled happily, earning her a whack on the head from Mion. Don't say dumb stuff. Let's get to the next stand already. Gosh. We went about just like this. Really noisy and lively to the other stands. And then we, like, you know, spouted propaganda so people could, like, you know, waste their money. We were paying money towards the beginning, but midway through, the guys running the spots thought we were just too funny, and we ended up being able to fool around without paying much more. We're just getting shit for free because, again, we're just free advertisement. This is why you don't pay anybody. You just free advertising, bro. Yo, you get an artist? Free advertising, bro. I'll give you a shout out. See, yo, Matt, you should start paying JP in shout outs, bro. Thump. The vigorous sound of a big taiko drum echoed through the air. Rika, it looks like it's time. Yep, looks like it. Right, it's about time for Rika to appear in the offertory dance. I don't think shoutouts will work out for his dumpling funds. Probably not. But I mean, hey, I'm paying you an exposure. I'm paying an exposure, buddy. Yeah, make sure to subscribe to the Senpai Simulcast on YouTube, because we be doing shit over there. I'll pay him an octopus list. Yeah, he'll love that. I'm a little nervous, guys. Believe in yourself. All of your sweat will definitely amount to something, Rika. Mion slapped hard on Rika's back. That's right, you'll do. Say that again. I gotta stop making this fuck-ass joke. Fantastic, Rika. I'll do my best. Yeah, that's the spirit. I ball my hand into a fist and raise it into the air. We're rooting for you, Rika. Go for it. Yay. Remember? Go for it. Yay. Rika gave the best smile I'd ever seen, then pivoted on her heel and ran off. Okay, we should get going too. Right, let's go cheer her on. You mustn't. You must keep silent during the performance. I get it. Jeez, I rubbed a hand through her hair. She was worried about her good friend up to the end. Then we'd better hurry. All the good spots will be taken. Come on. Mion ran off and everyone else followed a moment later. A large amount of people had already clustered into the tight spot to watch the edifying dance. Yep, I know that fucking word. Like, yeah. Wow, this is a lot of people. I turned around to look at everyone else, but nobody was there. Where did everybody go? They probably got lost among all these people. So I'm like, separated. Okay, finally I spotted the back of Mion's head on the other side of the crowd. It's going to be Shion. It definitely didn't look like I can get over there. Well, we got separated. No big deal. We could just meet back up when Rika's dance is over. I gave up on finding the others and wandered around, trying to look for a spot where I'd be able to see better. It didn't take long for me to realize I'd have to settle for watching between the heads of people in front of me, though. Goofus, doofus, thump. Once again, an even louder taiko drum resounded. That's what I said. This one was to announce the beginning of the dance. I couldn't see very well, but it seemed like... Oh, I was gonna say, like, what the fuck is that sound? Rika had come on stage with the elders who were in priestly garb. I heard low exaltations. Yeah, exhaltation, yeah. I'm making it up. Of admiration. And the seniors rubbing their prayer beads in gratitude. Everyone's heads were in the way and I couldn't see. It was really frustrating. We should have cut playtime short and come here to get good spots earlier. After Rika intoned the prayer, she took the festival hoe and whacked the pile of quilts stacked on the altar. That's right. The point of the ceremony was to purify bedding and hold a memorial service, wasn't it? Then the solemn effortory dance began. She had practiced using a mochi pounding mallet. Yep. The awkwardly shaped festival hoe Rika held seemed really heavy. Back and forth, up and down, it was doubtlessly difficult to even lift in the air, but she sweated and waved, raised and dropped it again and again. She couldn't just deal with it and do it grudgingly. As the shrine maiden, she needed to retain the dignity and solemnity. Holy fuck, these words. I know what they are. Yeah, clearly, 100%. Present at this festival. There must be a ton of pressure on Rika's shoulders right now. Damn, why am I cheering on from a place I can barely see her from? As her friend, so I should be right up at the best spot rooting for her. Kei-chan, over here. Someone tugs lightly on the back of my shirt collar. It was Shion. She beckoned me outside the crowded ring of people. She had a mischievous grin on her face, and I took it as her saying she knew a good place nobody knew of. Shion, what's up? Shh! Be quiet and come with me. After she told me so, she ran to a big detour around the throng. Man, it's great to have someone who knows the lay of the land here at times like this. Impressed, though, I was. I nearly lost sight of her right away. No more getting separated from me. I ran after her so that I wouldn't be left behind. As I wandered in anticipation, what kind of secret spot Shion had in mind, we left the crowd of people and went around to the back of the shrine grounds. Hey, wait, where are we going? We're getting further and further away. Shh, just stay quiet and follow me, you'll understand soon. Shion gave me a wink and then reminded me of Mion as she said that. I'm very suspicious of what's going on here. No sign of people and not much moonlight. It was dark. We had gotten pretty far away from the crowd and people on the shrine grounds. How are we supposed to see Rika's dance from here? I see there's some high spot around here, isn't there? Like a rooftop or something? We can look down at it, right? What? Why do we have to climb onto the roof? Well, how else are we supposed to see Rika's dance? Did you really want to see Rika's dance? Keiichi, could it be that your strike zone is really low? What? Okay. I don't think we're understanding each other here. Weren't you going to show me somewhere I could see Rika's dance from easily? What? Who made that promise? Yeah, very obvious, very obvious. What's going on? Why me? Why do I always misunderstand Shion? It is my fault. Is it my fault? Am I just reading the wrong things into it? This nigga just sucks, bro. Then why did you call me out here, all the way out here? What an expression that indicated she wasn't fooling around. Shion pressed her index finger to my lips and said slowly and quietly, This place is dark, dead, empty spot. Okay, I feel like there should have been an and there. You can't see it from the festival grounds, and now a male and female of the same age are all alone together. Ah, I see. Eh? Could this be? Shion, she's not planning something crazy again, is she? Shh. Look over there. See? Shion whispered, pointing to the dark underbush. And there we saw two figures, one male and one female. What's that? Is that? We're right at the scene of the rendezvous, of course. See, look closely. Can you tell who they are? I peered intently into the dark at Shion's suggestion. What is going on? Oh, it's Tomitake and Takano. Okay. The two of them were clearly breathing quietly and glancing around to make sure nobody knew they were there. As they crouched before the entrance of the wooden storehouse-like building. Wait, Shion, could this be what you wanted to show me? What in tarnation? Keiichi, you see Rika's dance you can see Rika's dance any year, but you won't get another chance at this, okay? I had thought that the Sonizaki sisters each had their own personalities, but at times like this, they seemed all too similar. I'm going back. Don't call me for something like this again. If you move now, they'll see us. At our noisy argument, Takano suddenly turned around. Oh my, who might that be? We held our breaths and tried to wait it out, but it seemed like Takano was now acutely aware of our presence. This is a lot different. I don't know anything about what's going on right now. Shion and I exchanged glances, then gave up and climbed out from behind the bush. Well, hello there. The moon sure is beautiful tonight, isn't it? Ha ha ha! My. If it isn't Shion and Maybara. Good evening. Yes, the moon certainly is pretty. What's this? Keiichi, you sure are smart, you know that? Having a secret date in a place like this? Then I guess we accidentally interrupted something important. You're the ones who were meeting up in secret. secretly. Tomitake and Takano laughed to themselves, and it got on my nerves for some reason. You fuckers. Wait, so you two weren't having a little rendezvous then? Of course we weren't, yeah. Though I don't dislike that kind of romance. Unfortunately, this wasn't the location of a rendezvous either of you would want to see. Sorry for not living up to your expectations. If this wasn't the rendezvous, then what were you doing? Also, add in 45 seconds. Tomitake, were you messing around with the padlock on that door just now? Huh? After she said that, I looked at the two of them again, and I definitely saw it. They were hunched in front of a warehouse door, fiddling with a pretty heavy-looking padlock. Guess we've been found out, huh? We were trying to break into the warehouse, but don't tell anyone, alright? Don't tell anyone? Are you guys thieves or something? I demanded unthinkingly, just because of how absently Tomitake was grinning. Nah, never. Thieves are people who steal things, right? It's not like we were trying to take something or take anything out of there. I see. Then why are you trying to unlock the door? This is the forbidden storehouse of the ritual tools. For the ritual tools. They say only the Furude family and a mere handful of others are allowed in. Forbidden storehouse? This also is like the storehouse from like the cover, not the cover, like the main menu screen. I took a few steps back and looked on the entire warehouse. It certainly looked like one built removed from any other signs of people, almost as if in secret. It was filthy, revealing how little it was ever opened, and it was built to be durable, giving it a strange, overpowering impression. Now that I looked at it more closely, it was certainly different from normal warehouses. This place, they're called the ritual implements. Basically, this is a warehouse where they store such tools used in rituals. Well, more accurately, maybe it's a temple where the implements are enshrined. The ritual Ho Rika's using is for the offertory or dance that was inside here until today. Of course, if... Okay, it's just the fucking soundtrack kicking in. I was like, what the fuck? Of course, if anyone but the Furude family enters, they bring impurity into it. So absolutely no one is allowed to a single step inside it. It's a sanctuary. Shouldn't we absolutely, like, not be coming to a place like this then? Valid. Valid. However, Takano was wearing a childlike expression, an innocent smile at best, and terribly cruel grin at worst. I told you, I was just researching Hinamizawa's folk tales and legends out of an interest in them, didn't I? A lot of the answers to questions I'm curious about are hidden away inside here. I've waited all this time until today for this chance. A chance. Everybody's eyes were fixed on the door at the shrine grounds today. This was the ultimate blind spot. I see. I didn't know you had lockpicking skills, Tomitake. Stop it. I don't want to be doing this, okay? Sorry for taking you along with me, but this was all thanks to you, Jiro. I really am grateful. Sheesh. This is the only time, understand, Takano? I don't want to be sneaking into places like this. Well, you already are doing that, and this is how you fucking die. They fucking die. You really are a good person, Jiro. Kerclink. Oh fuck, we're about to unleash it like a fucking 4 million-year-old curse or some shit, bro. Tomitake undid the padlock and placed it on the side. It's open. Thank you. At long last. Takano gulped with an unusual excited air about her. She gave the heavy door a shove. No, this is fucking terrible. This is a stupid idea. Stupid. How about we just go back and, you know, watch Rika dance and not unleash a fucking thousands-year-old spirit or anything. Ha ha. A sharp smell of mold and dust flowed out from the gap in the doors. I had claimed curses didn't exist, but in this situation, I could believe in them. Again, it's like a situation you would never catch me in, buddy. Like, fuck no. If we went into such a holy place with our shoes on, it feels like we would be punished somehow. How about it? Your accomplices too. You came all the way here, so why not come in and take the tour? It'll be a little field trip to a museum of precious cultural artifacts that conceal the secret history of Hinamizawa. Yeah, you're not wrong. We're technically like accomplices, you know. It's more like, you know, yeah, this is great. And it's only open today. We're not accomplices or anything, but you are. Aren't you interested though? No, not really. I'd say no. Come on, let's take a peek. Yo, this is literally just peer pressuring, bro. This is just pure pressure. Peer pressure. 100%. Shion said predictably, linking her arm with mine. But we definitely shouldn't be doing this. This is like a holy warehouse, isn't it? You said ritual implements, right? I really feel like we just shouldn't go in. I'm a part of the Sonizaki clan family, so I have a good guess as to what we'll find in there. But I want you to see too, Keiichi. You want to show me something to me? I thought it was just a ploy, but Shion's eyes looked entirely serious. Yeah, I'm not fucking believing this lady. Of course, she was the sort who could lie with a straight face. Of course, I was an average boy too. My curiosity was at least twice that of a normal person. Sleeping forbidden treasures, never to leave this warehouse. Chances like this don't come around too often. It's already too often if we're doing it right now. If I had to choose, then I want to see it. This is how you die. Now, this is how you die. Until the locked door is open, though, I don't know about this. If you're not interested, Keiichi, then you can leave now. I think you'll wonder about it later, though. Tomitake spoke after listening to our discussion himself, having sat down on the stairs to take a short rest. I'll keep watch here. Go in and check it out with them. I'm not too interested, but it might be pretty interesting for a young guy like you, Keiichi. He said, laughing mischievously. Ah, fucker, bro. There was no ill will in his laughter. Tomitake, do you know what's in there? Kind of. Takano told me all about it. Must be a pain to have to go along with your companion's unique hobbies. Huh. Tomitake didn't answer that, only responding with a pained smile. Takano had this kind of scary air about her, like she'd drop absolutely everything else for something she had an interest in and go straight for it, but Tomitake, on the other hand, seemed like the gold standard of what a normal person should be. Having him tell me so frankly to go check it out suddenly made the guilt feel lighter. Why? Okay, but just a little. If it's not interesting, I'm leaving. You got it. Shion gave me another Mion-like wink. This is fucking stupid. Looks like we're decided. Shall we go inside? Jiro, we'll leave this to you. Tomitake waved his hand to see us off. The inside was pitch black, but Takano turned on the battery-powered lantern she'd brought, revealing a pretty cramped front room. It's so dark in here. Everyone take care not to trip over anything. I appreciate the concern. Okay, doorman. Keep a good watch. We're shutting the door now. Takano smiled spitefully, as if leaving Tomitake outside was... Tomitake out of something fun, and began to close the door. Man. Alright, everyone, have fun. There was a low, heavy, and loud noise, and we were completely cut off from the outside world and covered in silence, darkness. Yeah, fuck all this, bro. Takano's lantern was the only light we had. It'll be fine. It's an outdoor lantern with backup batteries inside. It won't go out or anything. Foreshadowing? Looks like Takano noticed my uneasy expression. I couldn't help but blush a little and avert my gaze. Alright, brother. Deeper inside, there was a heavy and old but sturdy door with solemn decorations on it. It was the last door sealing away what was within. Strange how it has an antechamber even though it's just a warehouse, isn't it? I believe it's set up this way so that you open one door at a time, never letting the room with all the tools be seen from the outside. Takino explained this, awfully impressed by the construction. But still, it's really dark in here. Huh? That over there, I spotted the circuit breaker hanging from the clump of wiring clumsily attached to the wall. Oh, here. Isn't this a light switch or something? I flipped the biggest switch I can find, and with a click, the pitch black room was illuminated by an old bare light bulb. Everyone scrunched up their faces and the sudden strobe-like brightness. Don't! Before she even finished, she unslapped my hand and flipped the switch back. There was another loud click and the room returned to darkness, with only the lantern up for illumination. Ow! You can't, Keiichi. We snuck in here, remember? If you turn on the light, it might give us away. Probably already did. I'm scolded by Shion fairly harshly. It looked like she was worried about whether someone had seen them from the momentary light. It's alright. It was only for a moment. Takino remained a relaxed adult. Too fucking relaxed. It seemed like she was confident she could talk her way out of it if someone did see us. Let's go in. Here we go. There. The even heavier door opened, and it's time. And this time, it wasn't just the dust that came out with the air. There was also a nasty smell. That nasty smell. My fault. One smell was like opening a dust-filled cupboard in the back of a kitchen that hadn't been opened in years. And the other smell, the nasty one, was hard to explain, but it was like the raw odor of a fish market. From how the sound echoed, this room felt far larger than the first. Takino held up her lantern and revealed the contents of the expansive room. Whoa. At the back of the storehouse, right in the front of us, was a Buddha-like holy object standing there looking down at us. I was taken aback by its unseen force, lit up by the slender beam of the lantern. I cannot see what they're... I mean, we don't see it. That's the guardian god of Hinamizawa, Oyashiro-sama. Yep. It's far grander than the one at the shrine. Oyashiro-sama? So this is the spear protecting Hinamizawa? The one guarding the holy land of Hinamizawa from the impurities of the outside world, and the one delivering punishment after punishment after punishment. There we go. Upon those who attempted to sully the land of the dam construction? It looks like there are far more tools stored here than I thought, but this is so sad. None of them have been maintained. How unfortunate for that they're in such a state. Even in the dim light, I could see a lot of strange objects lining the walls, ceiling, and shelves. Takino, speaking as if in a trance, was infatuated by the various implements filling the dark room. Oh my fucking god. They weren't very festival-like or traditional, but instead they were more like the workshop of a blacksmith or a carpenter. There were a lot of large wooden and metal tools packed in here. Putting it bluntly, it was all pretty boring stuff. I'd imagine there would be more artistic things in here from the Heian period, but Heian era Sukuna? Stupid. These are a far cry from being cultural artifacts. My expression betrayed my dashed hopes, and they caught on right away. Oh. Is this not interesting for you? I'm not into literature or art, so I can look at this stuff, but I don't really understand its value. Don't eat the finger, you deadass. Keiichi, you really do look like you don't get it. I guess it's only natural. Takano reached into a paper bag, and she'd been holding the whole time. Took out a worn scrapbook and began to flip through it. Then just for you, Keiichi, I'll tell you an old story. It's a common tale in this region. If you go to the library, it would even be on their recommended reading list. Telling stories in such a dark, creepy place? Yeah, fuck no. She must have a real, a horror story in mind. Shion's face belayed nothing but calm. If she had the same personality as Mion, she'd have found a fault with me being scared. I'll endure it for now and pretend to be calm. Nigga, bro, they read you like a book. Everyone in this town can read you like a book. You can't pretend nothing, bro. Okay? Alright, I'll read it. After confirming that I was going to be quiet and listen, she began to speak softly like a kindergarten teacher reading a picture book. Long, long ago, in a certain village in the mountains, there was a swamp. This swamp was very, very deep. Some even call it bottomless. People said it was connected to hell, the land of demons. Okay. The rumors said that it was deeper than the ocean and that anyone it swallowed up would sink into the underworld, a bottomless swamp. Its name was Onigafuchi. Onigafuchi. Wait. I thought back to the story I heard yesterday about the sacrifices sinking in the bottomless swamp. Could that be the swamp she's talking about? So then the village was Hinamizawa, right? You catch on quickly. That's right. Though it was called Onigafuchi Village at that time. Onigafuchi Village. That's a pretty inauspicious name. It invokes quite the image, huh? Doesn't it? I hear that the name was changed to in the Meiji period. The name of the swamp connected to hell was called Onigafuchi, which meant the demon's abyss. And the true name of this village, Hinamizawa, was Onigafuchi Village. Yep. The villagers belonged to that abyss, or to hell, in other words. They lived their lives worshipping the swamp, said to connect to it. But then one day, demons began to appear, one after the other, from deep in the swamp. The villagers feared. The hell was overflowing. That hell was overflowing. Okay. The demons mercilessly attacked the villagers. They could only watch in fear. They could do no more than hide themselves and tremble. So did someone exterminate them? Unfortunately, there is no Momotaro or Superman. Wow. In this fairy tale. Wow, okay. Superman. Then, did they get the whole village together to fight them? Heavens no. The villagers weren't nearly strong enough to fight on equal terms with the demons. Then, the only recourse would be to flee the village. They couldn't do that either. To the villagers, it was their beloved homeland. It didn't matter how terrifying the demons were. They wouldn't have run away that so easily. Then what did they do? Wouldn't they just, like, get wiped out? Unable to fight, unable to run. All they could do was wait for the village to be destroyed. Then when everyone had lost hope, their god, Oyashiro-sama, descended upon them. I see. So Oyashiro-sama came down from the sky and beat up all the demons then. You're such a boy, Keiichi. You always jump straight to using force to resolve things. Shion sighed, a little annoyed, embarrassed. I held my tongue. The thing about Oyashiro-sama, he wasn't a violent god who would beat them up like you're saying. He was a kind god filled with love and benevolence. Okay. The strength of Oyashiro-sama's descended from the heavens couldn't be compared to that of the demons. They didn't even fight. They simply prostrated themselves before his radiant authority. Oyashiro-sama urged them to go back to hell from whence they came, but the demons wept and challenged him, saying they could never return. The world of the demons, too, has harsh commandments. They claimed they had been banished from hell. Demons, who didn't have a place to go, either in hell or in the human world. Of course, they were at fault for attacking the village. They deeply reflected on it and were sorry. As the villagers conversed amongst themselves, little by little they came to pity the demons, and after talking with everyone in the village, they decided to live alongside them. A lot of fairy tales have been of them being exterminated or driven away, but you don't often hear one where they live in peace. You're right. Demons are supposed to symbolize all evils. A story where they decide to live together with humans is certainly strange. When the demons first heard the villagers' invitation, they doubted their ears, but soon burst into tears of joy. The villagers had given them a place to live. It was said that in payment for this good deed, the demons shared their many kinds of power and secrets with the villagers. Oyashiro-sama was very pleased with this happy exchange. He gave the demons the bodies of humans so that they would be indistinguishable from villagers. Well, he himself decided to stay on the surface and watch over the everlasting peace between them. A land in which man, demon, and God live together. I had thought the word demon was a noun meaning evil that needs to be exterminated. Our God may have mediated for them, but you don't often hear happy endings like that where both sides live in harmony. I see. I guess it is kind of interesting. Although the normal fairy tales end there, it was revised quite a bit during the Edo period into a much longer story. After that, the humans and demons intermixed, and eventually there was no difference between them. So the demons ended up disappearing? No, not at all. Half of them stayed just as they were. The knowledge the villagers had received from the demons basically made them into something inhuman. What people call transcendent. Holy fuck. Transcendent. Holy fuck, I can't read. That's what happened. They were all aware the power they had was heresy. Nope. And as those below worshipped them, they lived out their lives in secrecy. This story is the root of many derivative tales and pieces of fiction. It's the foundation, I mean. The basis. What do you mean by root? She means the part of the villagers having demon blood. What I mean is all the legends from around here are based on the premise that the villagers are descendants from the demons. You know. There was a hint of amusement in Shion's face as she said that. It was like she wanted to say that she, too, had demon blood in her. Is there any proof, though? Maybe it's somehow rooted in historical fact beyond just fairy tales. Oh, Maybara, then do you believe that the demons really did come out of the swamp and bred with humans? Well, it's not that I don't believe it, but... When she said demons, she meant the others from hell, but in ancient Japan, the word wasn't necessarily used to denote only that kind, right? The more well-known use involves the drifting foreigner theory. As the story goes, Westerners who were shipwrecked in nearby seas had such markedly different customs that they were called demons. Yup. Japanese people were relatively similar in appearance to other Asians, but everything about those from the West was different. Their physiques, their faces, and their skin color. In Japan, terms like red demon and blue demon evoke images, especially of Westerners. Lacking in skin pigments, Westerners would sunburn easily and turn red. Being fair-skinned, I think blood vessels appearing on their skin would look blue, too. A handful of accidental aliens who would drift into Japan and came under persecution being called demons. They would flee into the mountains to survive, turn into bandit groups, and attack villages for food and the like. Damn. Add in 40. How does that explanation sound? Maybe it's a bit childish. Takano gave me a weird smile when, having come up with such an impromptu hypothesis, I unconsciously followed it up with self-deprecation. Still, she didn't smile as if to make fun of me. Okay. It's not ridiculous. There are a lot of people who subscribe to the drifting foreigner theory. Even so, nobody actually knows what happened. There were groups of foreigners who had turned to banditry, or were they really demons who had come from the bottom of the world? Then, Takano, which one do you believe? The truth of the matter aside, I'd rather believe the more fantastic explanation. What? It's more fun that way, isn't it? Her answer made her sound a wee bit like a romanticist. Here I'd thought she'd reject unrealistic stories like that. Now then, this is where the fun begins. Takano brought an end to her storytelling and waits for a moment as if to tantalize us. Suddenly, Shion looked around as if something had caught her eye. Her head bobbed and to and fro, like she was making sure nothing had changed. What's wrong, Shion? I'm sorry. Please don't worry about it. Shion pretended as though nothing had happened. Takano also made sure nothing had happened, then cleared her throat and broached the next subject. I explained that half of the villagers have demon blood. That blood, they actually say that it's the blood of the kind of demon that eats people. Man-eating demons? That escalated quickly. That blood still runs in the villagers' veins. They say that sometimes the blood awakens from its slumber. I thought the fairy tale had a happy ending, with the humans and demons living in peace, but it began to suddenly change into a brutal, bloody story. Well, they eat people. They say that every decade or so, they can't help but want to feast on human flesh. The villagers can't eat other villagers, so when this happens, it says that they descended on the human villages and conducted onikakushi. What's an onikakushi? Broadly speaking, it's when a demon kidnaps someone, when a person is demoned away. They say that the villagers of Onigafuchi would overwhelm unfortunate human villages in order to kidnap sacrifices. Takano's expression was plain and simple, but when I imagined what it must have been like, it was terrifying. They lose their human reason. The villagers turn into real demons en masse. They attack the villages they loathe in the dirty world of the masses below. And then they kill and eat their sacrifices. So they're no different from demons after all. What did Oyashiro-sama do? Wasn't he supposed to be staying in the village and watching over them? Oyashiro-sama knew about it, of course. Onikakushi isn't indiscriminate. The villagers apparently never kidnapped anyone other than the sacrifices decided upon by their god. In the text, it's usually 1 or 2 people. A village inhabited by those both human and inhuman. It was like the heartwarming episode's colors had inverted like negative film, revealing the painful and ugly truth. So on the nights when they raided villages, they would feast on their kidnapped sacrifices, which is why the nights came to be known as Watanagashi. Tonight's festival was Watanagashi. I just couldn't reconcile the fun festival with the horrible tale Takano-san was telling me. Gulp. Watanagashi, well, wasn't it about giving thanks to the futons we use over the winter or something? Keiichi, Wata has another meaning, you know. It means entrails. Well, Shion, who had been silent until now, spoke up. Entrails? Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Like fish and guts and... Wait, what? Like a jigsaw piece. The fun times I had today and Takano's grotesque tale clicked together in my head. In my mind. Watanagashi, so... Gut spilling? Gulp. I didn't think saying that could ever feel so nauseating. Yes, it's as you imagine, Maybara. Right now, the Watch Nagashi Festival might just be a somewhat early summer festival occurring every June, but it used to be different. It used to be a ghastly, cannibalistic feast held on the night of the villagers, held the night the villagers had collected their unfortunate dinner. That can't be true. Nah. I had no real reason to say that, but I couldn't help it. Maybara, you said that the Watch Nagashi Festival is about purifying futons, right? What do you think the futons filled with cotton with wata represent? Futons are futons, man. They're beds. They're things for sleeping in. What else would they possibly represent? I was rattling on, desperately attempting to deny the horrible festival that Takano was describing. It's so easy just to, like, not believe this shit. It's just like, okay, buddy. Deep down, however, I found myself understanding all too well what she had meant. Futons, stuffed with cotton. If the cotton represented entrails in both pronunciation and meaning, then the entrail-filled futons would have to be humans. Why don't you think back to the Effatori dance Rika performed? Do you know what she was doing up there? No, I don't. I didn't even get to watch the whole thing anyway. Shh. Keiichi, you're getting too worked up. Shion grabbed me by the ears, reminding me that this wasn't somewhere I should raise my voice. Even so, I still can't suppress the agitation I feel. Rika was carrying a festival hoe. You've probably realized it already, but that's not a hoe for plowing fields. It's a tool for dissecting human bodies. Ooh. I didn't see the dance at all the way through, so I don't know what kind of performance Rika was putting on after I'd left. When I told this to Takano, she kindly explained Rika's dance to me. To summarize what she said, yes, because, you know, I'm clearly in the story to, you know, have to, like, you know, need the fucking summarized version. After what I'd seen, Rika would pierce the futons with that hoe, cut them open, and pull out the cotton inside. She'd cut the cotton out one bit at a time and set it afloat. That's the kind of ritual it was. Broadly speaking, it was quite the bombastic ceremony where they'd rip out the guts and throw them into a basin, and then the ritual was over. It's thought that afterwards the villagers, each with a different role, dismantled the flesh piece by piece and feasted upon it. Hee. At Takano's strangely happy giggle, I felt, for some reason, violent displeasure. Rika, every day during our lunch break, she'd take a rice-pounding mallet into the schoolyard, and she'd work so hard, sweating bullets, to practice for the Effatori dance she had done today. All that effort, all that work, Takano disgraced it. Even though she worked so hard to practice for today. Takano, I think you should choose your words more carefully. Keiichi's naive, so please don't tease him so much. A moment before I opened my mouth to express how angry I was, Shion stopped me. Shion must have been fully aware of how that story made me feel. I'm sorry. I thought you'd like that story with the sort of shock value since you're a boy. Takano spoke without a hint of malice as she smiled gracefully. After hearing all that, did you figure out what kind of stuff is in this warehouse, Keiichi? See? Look. Shion pointed out one of the walls vaguely illuminated by the lantern's light. There was... Mere moments ago, they hadn't held my interest. They were just boring-looking tools lined up on the shelves. Ugh. All those uninteresting tools that I didn't understand how to use... They all suddenly took on a new meaning, and I couldn't help but let out a groan. Ugh. At first, they had looked like carpentry tools, like chisels or planes. However, when I thought back, I'd seen pictures of these sorts of tools before. Yes, they came up in Japanese history textbook, Yes, on the page introducing the Kaite Shinsho, or the new text of anatomy. Ah, I see. These sorts of things. They're printed realistically in the literature of Germany, capital of the medical world. These aren't carpentry tools. These strangely shaped tools, they're for dissection. Everyone knows that in the Edo period, they would dissect the corpses of those who had been put to death in order to gain knowledge about Western medical techniques. Illustrations of the dissection tools they used at the time came up in textbook supplements. The things hung up on the wall, and this wall all looked exactly the same as those. Gulp. If you want a scarier way of looking at it, think of them as cooking utensils. Hehe. Takano, holding the lantern, the only light source in the room, led us along the wall. She had the only light, so I had to walk after her whether I liked it or not. Look! Takano-san illuminated a coiled chain, which left a bigger impression than the other things we saw. The chain in and of itself, was nothing unusual, but further along, it were metal fetters that were like hinges, clearly meant for binding people. Okay. Keiichi, look at that! Shion tapped me on the shoulder and pointed at a restraining table. Yo, we got BDSM gear in here? That was that was clearly shaped like a person. My spine froze. They get freaky in here. My blood felt like it was turning into sherbet. Don't fuck up sherbet for me, buddy. As it crawled up my back. Sherbet ice cream, anyways. On each of the joints, there were things like chains and iron balls attached. Yeah, they're just freaks, bro. They're just sexual deviants, bro. It's not that crazy. It was like the table was searching for its next sacrifice, ready to spread their arms wide and close them in. It's probably a chopping block. I think you'd strap the sacrifice down and prep them for eating. Nah, we know what they were doing. The words chopping block sent a jolt through my body. When I looked more closely, there were many dark slices carved into it, as though from a knife or a saw. They were the most clear-cut signs of usage you could ask for. It proved these tools weren't just for show. They were used for their original purpose. If someone was strapped tightly onto this table, they probably wouldn't be able to move even a muscle. Their guts would be defenseless. You would take one of those eerie cooking knives. Wow, he's actually saying it now. Lined up over there, stab them with it, and then you slice open their belly and dissect them. I'd heard the stories, but this is incredible. Before coming in here, Shion had mentioned she had a good guess of what was inside, but it seems to have exceeded her imagination. Oh, there's still more. How about it? More fascinating than a wax museum, isn't it? Takano had this happy expression like she was visiting a toy store for the first time. I don't get it. This Mio Takano person has nerves of steel. Are these bizarre, grotesque objects fascinating to her? I, for one, was not enjoying myself. I'll be frank. This was all too weird for me. Yeah. You wouldn't catch me in a situation like this. Still, there was something even more horrifying than all this. That would be none other than Takano herself. Takano holding the lantern, giving off such a thin beam of light. If she suddenly turned it off, then what would I do when the next moment everything went totally dark? That's why I was scared. Takano had the only light, and anyway, I was scared. At some point, Shion had started holding onto my shirt sleeve. It was a little annoying to walk like that, but I didn't shake her off. That minor sensation allowed me to feel the presence of an ally here and now. Ally? Okay. Before we had even walked halfway through the storehouse, the air I felt on my skin changed completely. Though these cruel tools lined up, all crammed together in this place. Some were horrible ones made to take away sacrifices' freedom, and some were tools made to efficiently disassemble and prepare the bodies for consumption. Damn, it just keeps going crazier, bro. Those were just the things I understood. There were plenty of other strange-looking objects that I couldn't even guess the purpose of. Now that I was here, I didn't have the slightest desire to hear the details about what sort of terrifying reasons they were meant to be used for. At the very least, they were all completely different from the sort of clean, simple killing function of a katana. Tools to kill people were obviously constructed in such a way that they would kill people. If that was the goal, then the person who you use them on would obviously end up dead. The kinds of tools here, however, were different. The tools that were here were for cutting people, for crushing them, for boiling them and cooking them, and for grinding them. They were tools of torture. They weren't made to kill people. People dying was just an incidental result. Actually, they might not even kill them. If the sacrifices could die during such a horrifying ritual process, that would be nice, but they don't even die in the end. They remain in a state of hellish pain. Perhaps they were only being allowed to live. Only now, in this moment, did they realize just how terrifying and fearsome that difference was. People, you see, most of these wouldn't kill them if properly used. Takano, as if reading my mind, displayed a shocking smile. Burning at the stake, the famous method of execution for witches, will kill the person immediately. When the body suffers extreme burns to the skin all over, the decomposition of the skin's chemical makeup produces poison-like symptoms and causes the immense shock of the victim. Though I suppose it's still very cruel compared to the guillotine, you have to wait for far longer for that to happen. She described such horrors in a strangely medical way. Shion immediately answered the question I had. Takano is a nurse. There's a saying that nothing can scare a doctor. Well, I guess it's true. Oh, and also, there was a method of execution in ancient Rome where they would grill the person. Oh, I know about that one. Just like a barbecue. Yeah, I know about that one. There's a lot of methods of execution throughout history, buddy. They would cover the person in wire netting and slowly cook them over a charcoal fire. Yeah. To think that the memories of when I went to a day camp with my family would come rushing back now, of all time, so vividly. That's what it was like. Apparently they wouldn't die too easily for some reason. According to one source, even if they roasted one side of a person to a crisp for an entire night, they would still be conscious and able to speak fluently. That's insane. You'd grill someone the whole day and they'd still be conscious? It's said that ancient Rome, famous for their executions, thought of plenty of ways to execute someone while having the victim stay alive as long as possible. Among them, yeah, we're just still talking about it. We're just still here yapping about it. There was one method where they would open the gut, pull out all the intestines, or the intestines out like sausages, pull them up with a winch, and put them on public display. Shion was behind me, clinging to me. Not just because she was scared. She was protecting her stomach. Okay. You would think someone with their intestines pulled out would die instantly, right? Actually, as long as you do it tenderly and thoroughly, it's apparently possible to pull them all the way out while the person is still conscious. Yeah, fuck off. I felt sick. I felt a sick feeling in my stomach. It was like my organs were coiling up just from Takano's stare. Though pulling them out with a winch was a rather exaggerated method. In a more barbaric way, they might slice open the gut, then cut the intestines out and throw them everywhere. It's quite imaginable that they did dreadful things like that too, isn't it? However, those being put to death are conscious. It must be far more terrifying than painful. She spoke with pleasure, as if she had come here on a sightseeing trip. I heard Shion gulping multiple times near my ear. Perhaps Hinamizawa, or rather, Onigafuchi village did something like that for the Watanagashi festival. Listen, if you try hard, can't you hear it? I wanted nothing more than to not hear anything at all, actually. In fact, I'd like you to shut the fuck up and let's leave. So why? Why only at times like these do I begin to hear things I shouldn't be able to at all? Yep. The bells are ringing. Takano, having realized she'd scared Shion and I enough to this point, smiled soothingly. Then she turned on her heel, raised the lantern, and began to walk again. If Takano left us here, we'd get even further away from the light. Shion and I, no matter how scared we were forced to follow Takano along on her field trip through the ritual storehouse. Yep. That's how that works. I suppose we've seen a bit of everything. See? This place is interesting, isn't it? She says, raising the lantern high to the center of the storehouse. The dim lighting didn't change, but for some reason, it felt like I was able to see all those horrible tools at once. Keiichi, look up. Shion stammered while grabbing the nape of my neck. God damn. I couldn't tell because it was too dark, but there were a lot more tools hanging from the ceiling as well. They all looked like they were made of iron bars, but then I figured it out. Cages. For cages, they were very small. Cramped cages just for just one. Like a casket. If you get locked up in there, no, you wouldn't get locked up inside it. There was another tool meant for restraining people, where the iron bars would squeeze you tightly. So many big and large things of all shapes were hanging down. Takano's mention of execution by grilling crosses his mind. We weren't just surrounded by all sides, but these terrifying instruments. Things crowded the ceiling. They were even hanging over our heads. Wow, there are many of these sorts of bird cages among European torture devices. Yep. I'm surprised to see them in Japan as well. Keiichi, is there something in there? A person? A mummy? Where? Where? Shion desperately pointed to one of the many human-sized bird cages hanging from the ceiling, but I couldn't tell which one she meant. Being that dark, there wasn't any way you could tell if something was there in the first place. I don't see anything. You sure you're not seeing things? Shion didn't seem convinced, but without a means to confirm ourselves, we didn't do much but wonder. Maebara, after seeing this, how do you feel? How do you feel? Have you come to believe in all of it? The countless terrible rituals passed down in Hinamizawa? It's got nothing to do with believing in them. Now that I've seen the real thing like this, there's no possible way to deny it. Yo, can we fucking skedaddle, please? Like, we're still learning about fucking Europe and shit. Even the nations of Europe, with all their beautiful landscapes and legends, were like a maelstrom during the terrible witch hunts of the Dark Ages. It's well known that the era gave birth to countless gruesome forms of torture and execution. Yup. Yes, it was. Yes, it did. Yes, it did indeed. Japan was the same way. Didn't it have its own era of hellscape, like torturous feasts because of religious suppression and things of that nature? Hinamizawa itself had such a period. It had that much history behind it. Even in Europe, land of witch hunts that was all far in the past, no more than a series of historical events. And in this age, nothing that abnormal would ever happen. 30 seconds. Ad. That must apply to Hinamizawa as well. Just as Europe had its dark ages, Hinamizawa had one too. That's how this should be taken. Even if these things are all really happened in Hinamizawa, they're all long past. They don't have anything to do with the people living in Hinamizawa right now. Maebara, you really do like this village. It didn't sound like she was making fun of me. Takano gave me a light smile. Takano, you're researching whether those customs survived into the present. You are alright? Shion suggested something that made my heart leap into my throat. Are you telling me that all these horrible things are still going on even today? What I'm about to tell you is a secret, alright? I told you, Shion, because you're an understanding person, but the other villagers don't want to hear it. If things go awry, I could be ganged up on and punished. Shion flashed a devilish smile as if reveling reveling in the immortality of it. Immorality, I think. Maebara, you keep it a secret too, okay? If this gets out, I could suffer Oyashiro-sama's curse or be made into a sacrifice. If it's the curse, then I wonder what kind of death it'll be this year. If it's a sacrifice, then will I be thrown into the Onigafuchi swamp while still alive? It is tonight, you know. The night of the Oyashiro-sama's curse. Takino bringing her face right up close to ours. As if to say that if she had the choice, she'd rather suffer the curse. That was what she seemed to be implying. Takino took out a fairly worn notebook out of her paper bag, then began to flip through its pages. There were all sorts of references and newspaper clippings attached to them, and it had all manner of things written inside. The letters were very small and bunched together, and so I couldn't tell at a glance what it was about. What I'd really like to do is search through a national library for newspapers from the era, but here it is. A photocopy of a page from some book was slid into the notebook, and it too was written in small, tight lettering. Like the other pages, I couldn't tell what it was about just by glancing at it. This is the story that actually happened. It was around the end of the Meiji era. They discovered an unknown mangled corpse, the victim of a murder in Onigafuchi village. The old newspaper clipping attached to this page spoke of something that was no mere rumor or fairy tale. We don't have most police documents from the time anymore, so it's all based on oral traditions and memories. See, it's not very clear, but it looks like a cutout of a newspaper from the Meiji era. Never before has there been a corpse treated with such cruelty and inhumanity. Could it be the work of a demon? Being a copy of a copy, it was very hard to make out, but it was more than enough to make me feel strangely tense. All right. Near the end of the Meiji era, in old Onigafuchi village, a mangled corpse was discovered. The identity of the corpse was unknown. It wasn't even in a state where it could be identified in the first place. It was missing a head, and each limb was separated from the body. Skin had been peeled off from the entire body, and there were markings that implied terrible torture in every place imaginable. Not only that, but the belly had been cut open by a sharp knife, and then the entrails completely dragged out. The police immediately began an investigation, but since they couldn't even determine the identity of the victim, much less the criminal, finding answers was extremely difficult. Do you understand what it must have been like? I couldn't imagine such a strange sight, even if I tried. That was the first time I was ever thankful for my lack of imagination. The victim was skinned while still alive, underwent all kinds of torture, and was killed brutally. The author here also thinks that even after death, the remains were divided in and dissected even further. The epitome of inhumanity. Epitome works. I'm of the opinion that the entire process was performed while the person was still alive, though. What do you think, Maebara? She spoke in a way intended to make me imagine even more vicious things. As my brain was already far from over capacity, however, there was no way I could imagine anything more brutal. Yeah, I do. I miss the Takoyaki talk, man. I wish I missed when it was fun. But again, this is what the story is about, bro. Some crazy shit like this. But now we're talking about torture and killing people. Like I said, spooky, scary sometimes. Let me stop. This went to the darkest timeline. Yeah, almost. Yeah. I'm gonna stop my character from smiling, bro. I've been smiling too much. Then when I broke my gaze from Takino's, those strangely shaped weird tools were all around us. I wonder if you could faithfully reproduce the mutilated corpse discovered at the end of the Meiji era with the tools found in this place. I want to deny it. I don't want to admit that something so terrible could have happened at all. Dude, I'm just trying to finish this chapter, bro. I was like, yo, little stream because I was gonna do the chapter and then wrap up the video, bro. It's been an hour and 40 minutes, bro. And it's the same chapter that I started at the very beginning of the series, beginning of the stream. As if they had seen through my attempt to escape from them, they did nothing but ridicule me silently. So that creepy incident, what was it in the end? The author says that regarding Onigafuchi Village's dreadful customs, they've survived into recent post-Meiji days, and perhaps they lasted until around the beginning of the Showa period. This corpse, which at a glance had been brutally killed after a period of torture. In actuality, however, it was the pitiful sacrificial remains of the man-eater's terrifying feast. The corpse was just leftovers. It was so fantastic, so strange that it didn't feel real. Was this an extension of the legends too? It happened in the Meiji era, though, which is just too recent to be called a legend. Also, there's a newspaper clipping right here, suggesting it. Okay, but even if it really happened, it was a long time ago, right? I mean, the Meiji era ended like 100 years ago. That's all. Only 100 years ago. Besides, it kept happening even after the beginning of the Showa period, like with the uproar around the post-war canned flesh incident. Oh, I apologize. The story was taboo, wasn't it? Takeno's immediately stopped talking as if worried about Shion. Shion briefly looked somewhat angry, but that expression soon disappeared. Huh? Takeno, what did you just say? Canned flesh. Oh my god, it's just getting even more annoying. Then, just then, there was a huge creaking noise. Everyone whipped around to look. It was Tomitake, who had opened the door slightly. Ha ha ha, did I startle you? Oh, Jiro, could you not resist seeing inside? This is a splendid treasure trove of torture devices. Haha, I'll pass on that. I'm bad with this sort of thing, by nature. Takeno held her stomach and had to muffle her laughter, as if she wanted to make a comment about his masculinity. In any case, the dance and ceremony are over, and everyone's going down to the stream. The festival will be over within minutes. Oh, that's no good. Meibara is just such a good listener that I couldn't help telling stories. I'd really rather you not mention me in a place like this. Jiro, could you wait out front? I want to take a few pictures. There are actually a lot of tools I'd like to bring home, but we obviously can't do that. Takeno took a camera out of her paper bag and began to snap photographs. She looked like she was having fun, like she was on a scavenger hunt. Keiichi, are you leaving too? I've seen enough. Shion, you're good too, right? Let's get out of here. I want some fresh air. I agree. Let's leave. I did feel a bit of hesitation at leaving Takeno all by herself in this darkness. When I thought about it, though, I realized that whatever kinds of evil spirits and ghosts lurked in the darkness, none of them could hold a candle to how scary she was. Even if a phantasm were to appear, she'd be overjoyed and flash her camera at it. Back to the haha funny music. It seemed like Shion shared my somewhat rude mental images. Huh. We exchanged glances and smiled painfully. We left Takeno there, bathed in her strobe of camouflages, and decided to go leave the ritual storehouse. Everyone at the festival seemed to have gone to the stream, so their voices were very distant. The voices of the bugs, on the other hand, were clear, lending an empty feeling of isolation to the place. How was it? Interesting? Tomitake gave us a somewhat mischievous grin. We should have been able to tell by looking at how pale our faces was. He should have been able to tell. I should have kept watch outside with you, Tomitake. Tomitake laughed so delightfully that it wiped away our dark feelings. How did you fare, Shion? Were you scared? I was prepared for it, so I wasn't too scared, too afraid, but seeing the real thing was painful, or powerful. Shion spoke like she wasn't scared at all. She really had been quite afraid, but seeing as how I was in a way worse state than her, I didn't have much room to talk. As Tomitake grinned candidly, my mind exhausted and locked up by nervousness began to calm itself. Was Takano an adult about this little expedition? You know, she seems like a child sometimes. I was worried she'd be way too excited. Both Shion and I laughed and left that as our answer. Hopefully she was only looking at things. I'm worried she'll sneak something out of there or mess with ritual implement too much and break it or something. Right, that's quite possible. She's alone. She is alone in there right now. She might pilfer something small and easily concealed, hiding it in her pocket. Yeah, I can see that. Shion said what I was thinking. You sure she didn't break anything? I could clearly hear some noises like someone jumping up and down. I was getting pretty nervous. I'm sorry. I ran out of film. Jiro, if you have any more, could I use some? Takano suddenly appeared while we were talking about her, taking everyone by surprise. Tomitake smoothly grinned and responded as if nothing happened. He's pretty mature. I'm all out of spare film. Sorry about that. Jeez. You won't win any Pulitzer Prizes by not stocking enough film for any occasion, you know. I suppose that's it then. Tomitake stretched his head apologetically. Scratched his head apologetically. Without film, we're done here. Takano seemed to have given up because of that too. We checked carefully to make sure we hadn't left anything inside, then closed the door and turned to the heavy padlock we'd left out beside it. Takano, you didn't sneak anything out, right? How rude. I'm trying to not be that childish. Clank. Tomitake set the padlock back to the way it was before. From a cursory glance, it didn't look like thieves had snuck in at all. Okay. Let's get over to the stream ourselves. If we don't at least set some cotton afloat, there won't be any point of coming to the festival. Tomitake spoke briefly, urging us all on. Setting cotton afloat down the stream. I shake my head a few times, driving away my dismal thoughts. Yeah, dismal thoughts. Oh my god. As to the double meaning, Takano, looking a little let down, kept turning back to glance at the ritual storehouse. Let's just leave it at that, alright? You saw enough to sate your curiosity, didn't you? Oh, not at all. Everything I found only renewed my interests. All those stories and legends suddenly hold water. After today, I'm going to have to change the way I look at all this. Wow, she's truly indomitable. Her curiosity really is something else. Still interested in all this, though, and through. I don't know. Is it over? Oh, no, we're still going. Fuck, bro, we're pushing 2 hours. We descended the stone stairs, and all the people crowding the stream came into view. Near the bottom of the stairs, we could clearly see people receiving cotton and then that had been cut out for them, then wishing upon the cotton and setting it afloat down the stream. The festival was already over. Damn, I missed my chance to photograph the best part of Nagashi. But it's not too late. I'm going to go and set some afloat. Perhaps you could take some pictures of me. Takano, with an impish expression, brought her head to Tomitake's shoulder. Despite his age, he looked embarrassed. I felt an honest respect for Tomitake, man to man, for dating such a handful of a woman. Goodbye then, Maebara, Shion. We're going down to the stream. Would you like to come with us? No, I couldn't get in your way. Please take your time. Shion waved her hand to them with an expression just as impish as Takano's. Tomitake, on his part, seemed to want us to come, but whatever. Shion gave a big stretch and sat down on the stone steps. I'm pretty worn out. Same here. I'm exhausted, too. Keiichi, this is your first Watan Nagashi, isn't it? You go on. Don't mind me. I'm tired, so I'd like to stay away from the crowd. Yeah, if we were to go now, we'd barely slip into the end of the cotton drifting ceremony. My sister and your other friends might be looking for you, too. Go on. Oh, yeah, right. They've been by themselves ever since we got separated. I'd feel bad if they were looking for me. Then Shion suddenly got a playful look in her face, then put her index finger on her lips, as if to keep this a secret, as if telling me to keep this a secret. My sister is the type to get really jealous. If she knew I was hogging you this whole time, she'd never let me hear the end of it. So keep tonight a secret, okay? Keep tonight a secret. Don't say things that are so embarrassing. Don't say so. Don't say that shit. No. Not only because of that either. Considering what we were doing tonight, we really need to keep it a secret. Oyashiro-sama's curse might happen tonight, and we four would be the prime candidates. The loosening threads of tension became taut again. Shion, however, burst out laughing. Alright, I'm going to get out of here before I run into my sister. I really am tired, so I don't have the endurance to put up with her anyway. Okay, I can't tell if you get along with her or not. We get along. Though, as she said that, her vague expression explained that there were a lot of oddities in a relationship between twins. I'm an only child, so I don't really get it. Make sure you get along with her, okay? Right. Thank you kindly for your meddling. Okay, I'm gonna go. You should hurry up if you want to make it, Keiichi. Watan Nagashi really is about to end. Shion stood up and brushed the dust off her backside. After watching her do so, I returned my eyes to the final ceremony of the Watan Nagashi festival below. Seriously, though. What was that sound anyways? It was, like, kind of unpleasant and creepy. Huh? What sound? The sound. You know, the banging noise? It was, like, really loud, wasn't it? I was giving her a blank expression, so Shion stared hard at me. I stared hard at her, too. Sorry, Shion. Could you give me the short version? What was making noise? Wait, Keiichi, it didn't bother you? When all is said and done, it was like we were speaking two different languages. Shion, explain to me without jokes from the beginning, will you? What's this about a noise? Keiichi, you quit joking around too, really, honestly. It didn't bother you? Neither of us was giving any ground, and both of us were staring at the other in disbelief. We were answering questions with more questions with no sign of an actual conversation in sight. And it's like, can we fucking wrap this up, bro? But baffled, I held in the urge to shout at her, and I asked politely one more time. I'm going to ask one more time, okay? I'll ask the questions. Shion nodded silently. Okay, here it goes. You said there was a sound. What are you talking about? The banging sound. It was like a kid was jumping up and down on the floorboard somewhere far away. It really didn't bother you? There was nothing to be bothered by. When did you hear this? I never heard anything. Wait, Keiichi, are you serious? Shion, as if she didn't understand my plain and simple answer, pressed me further. Her explanation or her expression serious. I have no clue what she's talking about. But if it has Shion acting so like this, whatever it was, it gave me the creeps and sent a chill down my spine. It was while we were looking around the inside of the ritual storehouse with Takano, about the time she started her stories, I think it was. Little by little, louder and louder, off and on. She heard a banging sound like a child jumping on a distant floorboards. That can't be true. Don't start trying to scare me after all that. I didn't hear anything at all. In fact, it was utterly silent in there that my own heartbeat was almost deafening. Please don't try to scare me either, Keiichi. It was like something was making noise in time with Takano's scary stories, and I was totally creeped out the whole time. The chill rose from my spine to the back of my head. My blood turned cold as it crawled up my body. When it reached my head, my mind froze over. You and Takano weren't paying any attention to it at all, so I pretended not to hear it either, but you heard it, right? It happened a bunch of times, and it was really loud. Nah. Nope. Shion's eyes were begging me to tell her I heard it. I had no doubt, however, that my eyes were suggesting something entirely different. You've got to be kidding me, look. In that storehouse, we were surrounded by brutal ritual tools that looked like they were from another planet, listening to terrifying old stories. That shit didn't happen. There was no bouncing, no jumping. The whole time, Shion had been hearing a sound that we couldn't hear by herself. There we go. Should that make Shion, who heard it, tremble, or should it make me, who didn't hear it, tremble? I didn't know the answer to that at the time. For now, Shion seemed to have made that decision before I did. What are you laughing about? I really got you, Keiichi. I was fibbing the whole time. What? Shion laughed, saying how easily scared I was, and clapped me down on the back. Her smile seemed somehow artificial and actually made me feel worse. Then, after leaving me with 2 or 3 generic diplomatic goodbye phrases, she left, almost like she was running away. Oh, stream fucking died. Sick. Reconnecting. Bruh. There we go. There we go, we back. Oh no, yeah, my stream fucking died. Yeah, we're streamed, but I started again, so we should be back. We back, baby. Like, I just want this chapter to end, bro. That's all I'm waiting for. All I could do was look after her, my mouth agape. At the end of the day, I didn't have a clue of what was going on. Shion laughed it off and said she had been lying, but she couldn't possibly have been lying. Of course not. And now that I think back, Tomitake said the same thing, didn't he? I could clearly hear some noises like someone jumping up and down. I was getting pretty nervous. Tomitake, the most neutral party present at the time, had said he'd heard something. Then that noise, it was real? The banging sounds as though a child was jumping up and down in some kind of floorboards far away. Oyashiro-sama's curse, which happened every year, might happen again tonight. The most plausible victim candidates were Takano, Tomitake, Shion, and me. The bustling of people sounded further away, and than I would have liked, and the sounds of the insects sounded too close for comfort. I'm near so much human warmth, and yet I can't even go back there again. There was an ominous idea that sprouted in my mind. Yep. Then all of a sudden, I was pounced on from behind, causing my heart to lurch. Keiichi, we found you! It was Rika. When I turned around, Mion and Rena were there too. Mion sighed and said, "We finally found you. Now we just need to find Sadako." Everyone got split up this year. We should make sure we have somewhere to meet up afterwards next year. How? Yeah, if I live till next year, that's a problem, buddy. I'm gonna need shit. Keiichi's gonna fucking die soon, buddy. You're right. It's a festival, so we should all be together. I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna look it up right now. How many chapters does this chapter have? That's what I'm about to look up. How many chapters does Higurashi chapter 2 have? Let's see how many that is, cause like I'm on the 7th one technically right now. Can I just get the fucking answer? It has 12 chapters. I'm literally only on the 7th one. Fucker, bro. I listened to Mion's happy declaration for a little, with a little bit of guilt. Keiji, did you root for me while I was dancing? Yeah, I saw it all. You did a great job all the way through. No mistakes either. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right, Rika-chan. That didn't count as a mistake. I tensed up and realized I'd made a mistake of my own. Mion slapped the hand onto my shoulder a little roughly. A gross sweat broke out over my whole body. Did you do it too, Keiichi? Did you get some cotton and send it down the stream? You haven't yet, right? Is what I could feel her saying. Without the courage to tell her any more lies, I lifelessly shook my head. No. Huh? You haven't, Keiichi? You should go now or it'll be over. It'll be over. So, sorry, this is my first watch Nagashi, so I don't really understand the rules and stuff. That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, like, Keiichi could just play that card where he just, I don't know what the fuck going on. Mion took my hand and we started walking down to the stone steps. Also, yo, what I learned from, like, her old model is she just got a gun. She just got a straight gun on her, bro. Like, why? Why you have a blicky on you like this? And it's just the old model. Why do you have this? Why are you strapped up like this? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Keiichi. What? Did you see Shion? My heart skipped another beat. Maybe Mion could sense my surprise through my hand. No, well, I sort of think I saw her. You two look so alike, though, so it might have been you. You wouldn't have gotten that wrong. We're wearing different clothes. Huh? Oh, that's right. Mion's momentary silence was like a death grip upon me. I just can't do anything about that, Shion. Well, it's her we're talking about, so we just have to leave her be. Mion's expression returned to her former usual smile, and we continued down the stone steps. Her firmly pulling me my hand along. Can the chapter end, please? Is this it? Please tell me the chapter's over, bro. Please tell me the chapter's over, man. It's been 2 hours. Please, bro. Yes. Oh my god, bro. I mean, not like I dislike the game. It's just like I was coming out here to do a quick ass like hour-and-a-half stream, and then it's 2 fucking hours, bro. You did it? Yeah. we read the shit, bro. I'm surprised it took so long, bro. Oh man. But all right. Solid stream. Had some fun streaming out that one time. But yeah, all right.